All right, so I'm gonna start the braiding and bending. I like to split down the middle because this is how I'm also gonna start on the reties. And I would say if you use 3-finger spaces, boom. And I like to part that way because it also helps the hair set in definition. We got elastics that she's gonna be passing to me. I'm just gonna use one to hold the section. Oh, she flew. So I just match up the opposite end. And I just need this to hold the hair out of my way while I braid and bend. So you want to leave enough space at the root. So what I say is those same 3 fingers, you want to make sure you can get to it. And then you're going to do a loose braid. So for Jael, she has baby hair that goes very low to her neck. Everyone's hairline is different, but that's just hers. So what I try to do is once I start making the braid and like you'll see it'll start tensing up, I go back before I finish the braid and make sure that I still have those finger spaces. Now there's gonna be some shorter pieces that like come out. You want to try to continue to get them into the braid. If you're doing it on yourself, just be a bit more forgiving. For the most part, as long as the hair is in a braid, you'll be fine. When you get to the end part and you just have the 2 pieces, because a braid is 3 strands, right? I like to fold it up a little bit higher because I feel like I can damage the ends less. When I have to do the takedown, I don't have my little scissors today. Everything was left at the job. Silly McGee, but now I know. Normally I never do that, but I just said I had a full week of work. So, here we go. And it's Memorial Day weekend. What's y'all plans? What's y'all plans? We figured to do Giles' hair now, or at least get it started. I am still working on my time. They say at the shop, braiding and bending shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes. So, I know you're at home, you're probably doing this on your leisure, but if any interested stylists are watching, that's just a heads up, like time wise. Everything's about timing. I'm learning so much about timing. You don't want to make the rubber bands too taut. You just definitely use it to secure. So like I said, my 3 fingers, I will take the middle finger, bam. And normally when I'm braiding and bending, when I get towards the front, I like to ask the person, the client, hey, where are you getting your hair parted today? Or where would you like your hair to be parted? You know? Because normally when they come in, or their hair is already down. So Jay, where do you normally like your hair parted?
To the middle.
We already down the middle. I already knew, but I was just letting y'all know. Which is why I already started straight down the middle. So I go higher up, you fold. When the section gets thicker, just about like 4 wraps, then I match. The other side. I did get my smaller, one of my coworkers gave me a heads up and the link to these awesome crochets that are like serves as a repair and styler. They are so tiny, but boy, when I say the work looks so neat. Giles does have a bit of a frizz right now. Looser hair tends to be a little bit more frizzier in the dry state. So like once I get towards the ear to ear area, I'm gonna start stacking them this way. So this is like my last vertical part. Like right now, I'm right on top of her ear. Sorry. This one's gonna be a little bit bigger. Yeah, I was rushing to get ready. I don't know about you guys, but I do have a tiny little one. So my morning for work, she takes me on my commute. Her and my husband currently drive me. So I was rushing to get ready, and I didn't necessarily like check my messages on time. I normally check it once I get to the car because everything is just like get to the car, don't be late. So I did a whole face of makeup. That's why I made sure I did a little introduction for y'all. Because I was like, well, I ain't gonna take it off. These products is expensive and it's already done. Okay, so whenever like you get a little bit bulk, don't be scared to boom, because we gotta get in there. If your hair is not clean, your retire results is gonna look bonkers. It's gonna look like you ain't doing anything. So once I get to the end, I'll wrap. So those little stragglies that like came out of your little twist, I try to just bring the rubber band to it to just lock it in there. So not everyone's head is like perfectly symmetrical. Like there's gonna be locks in different places for different people, so it's just as best as you could. Don't overthink the parting. I was practicing a updo, and I kind of like freaked myself out from actually being able to accomplish it because like you're not working with straight parts, right? Like you have to have a creative eye to understand balance. But then you still have to be able to execute the look. So this little hair here is part of the front. Don't try to bring it in. You see, I almost made that mistake. But whenever you see something not going in, it's always okay to just double check. Like, hey, what's going on? Did I grab something I wasn't supposed to grab? I always like to say it's better safe than sorry for everything. So that's like my rule. I'm twisting around. Jay, you don't have to be quiet. Like, you can help this flow. Oh. You don't have music in the background. I'm breathing hard, concentrate. I hear myself.
I'm trying to put on something, but I need to change my battery on my remote.
That's fine. Or even about the topic. Like, do you have any questions about braiding and banding? Last night, she was over here pressuring me to braid and band for her. But I was like, Jay, I got work tomorrow. Like, yeah, it's not about. She was like, no, I just can't do it. So what would you say right now? You could feel what I'm doing. What do you think you have challenges with? Or
I guess just trying to find the right. Like, I know we're supposed to leave at least 3 fingers of space, or at least 2 fingers of space between the hair so you can properly like get to the roots. And for me, my braiding skills isn't that great. So when I start braiding, it automatically just becomes a tight braid. So that's why I was just like, oh, can you help me?
So when you say it becomes a tight braid, like you're gripping from the root, there's no space left.
Yeah.
And even when you like, so you see when you start forming the braid, it naturally gets tight. But do you see that, okay, instead of me braiding like this, because I feel like I can understand more when I feel, right? This is like a braid to your scalp, right? Yeah. But I'm not doing that. I am doing a looser braid.
Yeah.
So like you see how that's not necessarily on your scalp anymore? Can you see those two difference?
Yeah, I can feel the two difference.
Okay, so that's when you're braiding, don't think about like you're trying to grip from the roots. Think about you just trying to braid the end of your hair.
Okay.
So I felt like, you see, that was a good conversation to have.
See?
What else do you feel is your biggest challenge when you're trying to braid a bend? Because she be swearing she can't do it on her own. And I'm always like, hey, wash your hair. So all I have to do is do retie.
Just the braiding part, because I want to be able to get to my roots. After I braid and band, like, I do enjoy washing my hair. So once I have the braid and band, it's, ready to go easy.
So once again, like, you see, this is your roots. Like when you're trying to individually braid, you would start from here. Once again, I start like here. So I'm just taking the ends, and you can feel that. And then when I go back, because it still goes towards the roots, right?
Yeah.
You just loosen the best way you can, because like this is her straighter part. Lean your head back a little bit. This part is her straighter hair, right? So everyone has different textures, right? So if this part is a little tighter, it's okay, because this part is when the part, like when we wash, all this hair could come loose. And I don't have the time for that right now.
The repairing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's another thing that also scares me on why I stretch out my shampoos, because I know my hair is the type of hair to get slippage or, unravel on itself. So it's just like, okay, I'll just wait until I can get it done professionally. Not professionally, until I can get it right. The braiding and banding, because I don't want to go through the repair stage, because that's also, making sure to fix the holes or the slippage. It's like, I don't want to hear none of that noise. Even though you're great and you do it, but still.
I don't know what she meant by professionally, y'all. I thought I was a professional, but
No, when I do it's not professionally,
Oh, okay.
When you do it, it's perfect. So that's why I usually just make sure you do it, because I don't want to deal with you doing my retie and you say like, hey, there's slippage, hey, there's some holes formed, hey, we gotta redo this and redo that. I don't want to hear none of that noise, so I'll just wait for you. So I think that's another thing. If you know that your braiding and banding is not A1 and you have looser texture, it's best to just make sure that process is done as perfect as it can, because it's going to make more problems down the line without you even knowing it. Like you think, okay, it's just a regular shampoo, but not knowing that you just unravel your whole front, especially my front. My front and my back is always...
When she said it back, she's talking about the napes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're always having to redo those parts.
Yeah, but from what I learned too, especially being at the shop, like for your first year, your napes and like your perimeter, they always come undone for the most part. If it don't, you're lucky. So don't be too hard on yourselves, y'all. That is completely normal. What I've been doing for my nape area is sometimes I corn roll it, but that's not a real true wash, right? But that's because before I was doing my own reties, and then one moment I lost it all, and I couldn't perform my own reties, probably because I just didn't want to. And Jay had to do my reties. So when Jay was doing my reties, because it's like each one teach one, okay? I definitely didn't want her having to repair, because it's hard to repair on something you can't see. So she's great at doing reties. She definitely understands the complete concept of it. It's just when you're repairing the lock, sometimes it can cause knots. If you're unaware of what you're looking for, it's less stress trying just preventing it. So I have corn roll my nape area to just help our reties flow easier. All right, so we're all done. I'm gonna ask you to lean back so they can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn your head to the side real quick so you'll see from the arch of the brow. Here's another one. And then I just split that in two. Oh, you're not in the shot. Here we go. So this is a different angle. Okay, so you can see 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And the other side looks just the same. Jay, tilt your head to the other side. Bingo, so you can see. All right.